Hello, Culture Askin, and today, guys, I'm here to do another anime movie review. Oh yes, technically anime review, but overall, it is an anime movie I'm reviewing. But anime movie review, and this anime movie review is to Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, Part 1. Heaven's Feel, the first movie of Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel. For people who don't know, this will be a trilogy. This will have three movies, and this is the first movie for Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel. And the episode length, the movie length is 2 hours. So 2 hours of content with, oh, yes! This is what I like. I'm glad to mention this. This is the best way to do visual novels, in my personal opinion. Make them into movies. Why? Because the movies can have 2 hours. They can fit a lot of hours into a movie, while in episodes they can only do 24 minutes. They can only do 24, which can build up, mind you, but surprisingly it feels more depth in movies than they do while in episodes, in my personal opinion. But yet again, it's not always the case, but definitely for Fate Stay Night, oh yes, they done well for this movie, done well for the first movie, for this, and obviously, for people who don't know who's doing this movie, it's Ufotable, the ones that did Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, the TV series, and Fate Zero. These are the guys that created those Fate animes, and we all know that their adaptations of the Fate series have been godlike and phenomenal, and so far have been the best adaptations of the Fate series so far. Close second would definitely be Fate Khalid, aka Silver Links, and the adaptations of Fate Khalid, which, yeah, this just tells you about the other adaptations, about the other studios. The next one, I will definitely say, the next adaptation will definitely belong to personally A1 Pictures. Personally to me, A1 Pictures is the next anime studio I'll say they've done well with the Fate series. Next will be Studio. I'm trying to remember the other studios that did the Fate series. I'm trying to remember the recent one as well. Shaft. Studio Shaft. The reason why I'm saying Studio Shaft is below A1 Pictures right now is because I actually not finished watching Fate Extra Last Encore. I still need to get back to that. So that's another reason why. That's the reason why it's a bit lower. Possibly it might go higher. But personally to me, right now, A1 Pictures does outbeat Studio Shaft, but only by a bit. Just mentioning that there. And finally, obviously, Studio Dean. It wasn't because of how they tried bunching a lot of the visual novels, like every single part of the visual novel, including from, like I said, from Heaven's Feel and Unlimited Blade Works into the main Fate Stay Night anime, plus also how fucked up they made with Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works the movie. They unfortunately they become the scorn to the Fate series in general. So I'm just mentioning right there, that's how I would rank that's my ranking position of the studios that have so far have adapted anything to do with the Fate series. So, yep. But anyway, Ufotable. Oh god, the movie's animation. Oh god, that's so good. But anyway, before I actually get most back into it, I need to mention this. This is definitely not a good starting point for anybody who wants to get into the Fate series. Definitely not a good start point for anybody to get into the Fate series, because first up, as it is the same studio that has adapted Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, they actually have the right to skip through from the beginning parts of the visual novel. And that's what they did. They actually skipped quite a bit of the start of the visual novel. While in the Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks, while Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks and the original Dean Fate Stay Night, they have adapted fully the beginning of Fate Stay Night. They have done that. That is available. And again, ufotable themselves, who are doing the movies of Fate Stay Night Field, have already done the beginning of how Fate Stay Night usually starts. So they do have the right, and in a way, good start by by cutting quite a bit of the beginning of Fate Stay Night, because in a way, I did not want to go through the same fucking thing every single time. My personal opinion comes to the beginning of the Fate Stay Night. Because I think like the downsides to me about the Fate Stay Night visual novel would have been that we had to restart from the beginning. Like, technically that's what we have to do. Even though technically we can choose different arcs, the different routes. We can just click on the beginning in the visual novels and click on which route we want to take after completing the other routes as well. But we can pretty much click any route we want to take. But unfortunately, while we do that, it does still revert back to the beginning, and obviously there's still be a lot of things you're already familiar with from the beginning. So obviously, like, it gives you the skip. It gives you the skip option, so actually that's good. That gives you the skip option. But they do restart from the beginning, which unfortunately is a downside of the visual novel. But with the anime, I'm glad they didn't repeat. Especially, again, this is the same studio that did Unlimited Bladeworks anime adaptation. So, obviously, it makes sense for them, who've already created a Fate series, to not readapt the same scenes too much. And obviously, they know they had to do it for the Fate series, because there is a reason why to the Fate series have to do it. But obviously, they can just skim through it, and that's what they did. They skimmed through it. So, I'm just telling you right there, if you want to see the full beginning of the Fate Stay Night series, Fate Stay Night, you absolutely must watch other Fate Stay Night animes, that includes Dean's adaptation if you want to, but preferably maybe Unlimited Bladeworks TV series by ufotable. But I will mention this, if you want to properly know the beginning of Fate Stay Night, I would recommend, again, don't watch Fate Stay Night Heaven's Films. And especially how the movie is structured. It's outright telling you, you have to know a lot of information about Fate Stay Night first before you watch Heaven's Film. The movie structure has proven that you must have some knowledge of the Fate series in you, especially Fate Stay Night, so you know what the hell is going on. Because again, they skim through a lot of things that the beginning usually shows, because by now the people supposed to be watching this have already watched other Fate anime. So if you are a newbie to the Fate series, and if you have not watched any Fate Stay Night anime, or any Fate series animes in general, don't watch this movie until you've at least watched either the original Dean adaptation of Fate Stay Night, or the preferred option, the TV series version of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks by, again, ufotable, who is doing this movie. So, outright telling you guys there, don't watch this movie until you watch those animes. Okay? Good. So, by now, that means you should stop watching this review. So, I'll wait for a few minutes, or a few seconds, actually. I'll wait for the people who have either who have not watched this movie yet, or who watched this movie yet, who have not watched this movie yet, and also wait until people who can't watch this review yet because they have not watched it Fate Stay Night anime reviews, Fate Stay Nights yet. So I'll wait until those people go before I start review. So wait for a few seconds. Okay, by now I feel like anybody who has not watched this movie and also has not seen any content of Fate Stay Night before has gone by now. So, let's get into the review of Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. So, like I said at the beginning, they did skim through the main beginning of Fate Stay Night. But that is not the beginning of this movie. The actual beginning of this movie is actually some backstory that the visual novel, even though they said so in the visual novel, they haven't really adapted or haven't really told us much about the beginning of how Sakura and Shiro met. Because in the anime adaptation, they showed us how Shiro and Sakura met. And they showed a few of the days they spent with each other during those years. And I've got to mention this. I'm glad they done that. I'm glad they done that because, in a way, it gave us some more character development with Sakura, which is good. And in a way, it makes also sense because they done it for Tosaka in the Unlimited Blade Works. They showed the Tosaka thing, but yet again, the visual novels did the same. So when I learnt about that during the visual novel, I feel like, okay, that means they adapted something that actually happened in the visual novel. But in this one, this is actually anime original content, which is actually also canon to the series. So that is something good to see here. Which, even though it was been already aware from the visual novel, but the visual novel didn't really adapt this bit, which I'm glad, which in a way, it made some good anime original content into the movie. Which I'm so glad. Seeing how day by day we see until we get to the main point of the main part, until it gets to the main part of the series, this seeing daily life of Saga and how she used to be. Oh god, like she still remind me of the Sakura in Fate Zero during that point. Be like, oh god, Sakura, oh fuck, like. I knew, because I watched Fate Zero, I knew how Sakura was during that point. But obviously, I was still in the mindset of her older self, her teen self. I always saw her a bit more cheerful, a bit more lightheaded than she was in her younger years. Which, when I saw her in her teen self like that still, because I didn't even know I was aware she was still like that even in her teen self, it was still like, oh man, Sakura. Oh god, that really got to me, that bit. So, just shows you the power that Sakura to go through. And, oh god, just the overall situation. And the way how she and you get to see her building up. You see how she started to gain more emotion, she started to get more feelings, and so obviously start to get feelings for Shiro. During this point, we get to see that. How she develops her feelings for Shiro as well. Which is awesome. And that beginning of this movie really got to me, and that was awesome. And then after that, they went to, the beginning parts, which obviously they skipped. Especially the point with Archer and Lancer fighting at the first time. I'm upset they didn't reanimate that because I would have liked them to reanimate that scene. But no. They skimmed through it a bit upsetting, but it was alright. We've seen it before. We've seen it by them before, so in a way, makes sense. But a bit disappointing, but makes sense. Next thing, there is some changes, I must mind you about that. For example, in the Unlimited Blade Works movie, anime adaptation, as its beginning, obviously, we already were aware that Shinji told Shiro to be the one to clean the JoJo, but in that point he had other girls with him. During that point in the Unlimited Blade Works anime adaptation, but in the movie adaptation of Heaven's Feel, they did that. We just see Shinji. We just see Shinji, which okay, not too big of a deal, but we could have kept that as well with coming with other girls and stuff, but slight nitpick there. But there is some differences except to the original Fate Stay Night anime adaptations. Again, one bit is that Shinji didn't go with other people, he just went there by himself. So, there's something we need to tell you there. Now, after skimming through the beginning, we also we go back to the point where Shiro, Tosuka, and Saber goes to the Kotamine, and then obviously after meeting with Kotamine, which I think another slight difference, if I remember correct, even in the visual novel they didn't do this, but they also automatically made the characters aware that Ilya was there. They were made it aware that Ilya was there, which is something interesting to see there. And seeing the interaction again with Shiro and Ilya, I've got to say, oh god, they have definitely hinting more to them being brother and sister, which I feel like, oh god, they're hinting more. Especially the point where after that integration, including Shiro getting himself slashed by Berserker, aka Hercules. What another difference? I remember correct that also did not happen in the visual novel, but Shiro got cut by Berserker, and instead of going to his home, they went to a nearby shrine, and they saw Rin and Saber saw Shiro recover from his injuries, and Shiro wakes up. So, and they also have declared that, they also explained that the possibility the reason why Shiro can regenerate easier is because he made a contract with Saber, and like that, we got that point crossed over. Next, after splitting apart, after Toshika saying after you leave, we're now enemies again, she goes late, we all know that happens. But then during this point when they're about to go home, Shiro and Saber sensed something. They said something. And they both went to go and check it out. And they went through a barrier. And right through that barrier, they see a friend of theirs, Mitsuri, I think that's her name, the captain of the archery club. They see her there, getting her life force sucked out of her by Ryder. Oh, and this is the point where the Heaven's Feel content comes in. Because I think a lot of you don't not be aware of this. So, Ryder sucking Mitsuri's life force. She stops after she gets seen by Shiro and Saber. But coming from the staircase in the alleyway comes Shinji, being all his bastard self as usual. And do you know what he tries to do? He tries to let Ryder attack Saber. But guess what? Saber one hits Ryder. And then Ryder is instantly defeated. And by doing that, what happened is that Shinji's book command seals were disintegrated. Because he just represented, he lost, he's no longer master. And then, who else comes? We all know who he is. Zoken Moto. Shinji and Sakura's grandfather. Who, by merging, we do actually meet at also near the beginning of this episode, of this movie as well. We see in the beginning of the movie as well. So, I should have mentioned that. We do see him after Shiro takes Sakura home. He then meets Zoken, which is interesting in that situation. But I will say this, sorry about that, my sister's out there. But you see that Shiro, just that interaction, and especially with Zoken being there, I'm like, fucking hell, this is gonna be awesome. And the interaction with Zoken pretty much tells her, I don't expect anything from you, Shinji, and he just leaves Shinji afterwards, and Shinji just runs off afterwards. And I'm just seeing how, like, he gets disowned by his own grandfather. I feel like, oh, that's what you fucking deserve, Shinji! And then, obviously, after that, Saber and Shiro leave after that. Then afterwards, we get into another crucial situation. Seijiro Sakakuri Kojiro, aka Assassin, of Fate Stay Night, the fake assassin. Coming out of him, out of his body, who rips out his body, was the true assassin. True assassin comes out of Seki Kojiro's body, leaving Seki Kojiro to dead and gets swallowed by black mystical mud. And this mud, this creature, is the main focus of Fate Stay Night Heaven'sfeel. Because this creature will definitely become crucial in the later movies of Fate Stay Night Heaven'sfeel. So, for anybody who's not aware, pay attention to this creature. This creature, you must pay attention. This creature's identity is also a big shocker to a lot of you. Trust me, a big shocker. But, all getting swallowed by that assassin and the black mud thing, goes and then kills Caster, and of course her master being the teacher, which I remember correct is Surichiro, I think that's his name. Pretty much kills Surichiro and Caster, and then Caster's body obviously gets dragged off as well by Assassin, and obviously by Assassin, and what we do end up finding out is that during the point when Saber and Rintoska went out patrolling, they ran into Zoken again. Controlling the corpse of Caster. But then, during the fight, the black mud creature comes in. And do you know what she does? She swallows. She eats. She consumes Caster's body. And while doing that, she also goes in and tries to attack Rin. But then Shiro was able to bounce out of the way. And Shiro made contact with this gooey shadow power. And he saw some images. Some images he made him pass out. And these images again are crucial. These images are very crucial to Shiro's character for this arc. So I recommend you pay attention to those images you see in his head. And then obviously he got passed up from that. Now we do find out, and then I don't think I mentioned this, but at one point he does ask Sakura to stay at home, stay at his home because of this tiny incident, and of course Shinji being involved in this, he doesn't want Sakura to be injured, so he does offer Sakura to stay at his home, and Sakura accepts that. Now, I need to mention this. There's one scene I'm actually surprised they kept, and that is the dream scene. The dream scene. And if you guys know the visual novel, oh god, they kept the dirty dream! What I'm gonna say, I'm proud of you. Mind you, they don't have the sex that supposed to be in the dirty dream does not happen, but obviously you can tell they implied it. Which, I'm going to mention that. Thank you. So that means I need to mention this. Possibility, sex is definitely going to be involved in this anime series, in this movie trilogy. There's a high possibility. Especially for how they actually adapted that dream sequence. So there is a high possibility that sex is going to be involved. Which, compared to the other Fate Stay Night animes adaptations did, this will be the first Fate adaptation where sex could actually happen in the series. In the anime series, I should mention that. Because, like again, even though we have already acknowledged and implied about that, actually that's how they transfer mana, by using sexual intercourse, they don't actually properly show it or like do anything that could actually make you feel somewhat curious and maybe somewhat aroused. They don't do that in the animes, which I feel a bit disappointed once I learned about that. But this one, oh god, they just done something that I didn't expect. So just gotta tell you this. This is definitely a mature route. Again, this is definitely no way should be watched by anybody younger than 15. My personal opinion. If you're not 15, if you're younger than 15, you should not be watching this. This is so dark. And by the way, I'm gonna say the gore. Oh god, the gore is so. Oh, the gore, so good. They kept the guts. Freaking. You see the ribs and innards and the hearts of both Lancer, because unfortunately Lancer dies again. Oh, fucking Lancer dies again. Oh, we all know the torture Lancer's had to go through. And Lancer, oh, I'm sorry for you, Lancer. Especially the fight between him and Assassin, True Assassin. Oh god, the fight was so good. Animation for that point was so fucking good. And I'm glad they animated that perfectly. Oh, that looks so fucking good. And the CGI, even though you can tell it's CGI, this CGI looked fucking good. And, just so wow. I'm fanboying here, I know that, but that fight scene was so incredible. And then, and by the way, the interaction between Shiro and Kutamine, during that point where, first up, the church interaction, where Kutamine tells Shiro that he was a master in the previous Holy Grail War, the fourth Holy Grail War, and he knew Kuritsugu, and he told the enemy that the enemy he faced was Kuritsugu. And he told Shiro about this, tells about everything, and then Saber afterwards tells Shiro that she was she was the servant of the masters of the master of the Ironsmen, which was Kuritsugu. So she tells Shiro everything, which I'm so glad they did. That I kept that. Shiro is no longer technically in the dark compared to the rest of the series, because again, the rest of the other routes they kept pretty much Shiro in the dark, pretty much. Like Kuritsugu being the master, they didn't really imply that much, and also they haven't really implied much that Shiro being the brother of Ilya, but now in this route they have pretty much outright told not just us, but Shiro himself that he is he's connected to the Holy Grail War through his family, which I'm glad they did. I'm glad they done that. It made it a lot easier. It makes him seem more alike to the Grail War. And after all those instances, Shiro then obviously makes a contract with Tosuka to team up. Like last time, they decided to team up and find a way to, so they can find a way to survive in the Holy Grail War until the point when they have the last two survivors. Then afterwards, when they found out the situation between, and then during that point, that's when they go to the Zoking scene again. That's when they go back to the Zoking scene, and during that Zoking part, obviously, and then after that Zoking part, where they interact with Zoking with the Black Shadow and stuff, we find out that Rin wants to go investigate the Mato household, and then we see that Shiro wants to also investigate Rudoto Temple. So during this, we see Shiro investigating with Saber at Rudoto Temple, and then suddenly Assassin comes in, tries to attack Shiro, but then Saber obviously comes in and stops it, and they start fighting each other. But then Shiro had to stay indoors where all these crest worms comes in and tries to attack. Who we all know is Zokin again. Zokin comes in and tries to attack Shiro again, but then during this, Saber unfortunately loses. But not by Assassin, by the Black Figure. And the Black Figure swallows Saber. The thing is, Zokin doesn't use his Noble Phantasm, because during the fight with Lancer, he uses his Noble Phantasm to crush Lancer's heart. But then he didn't get a chance to do that for Saber, which is also the reason why Saber becomes Saber Alter. And the first and only scene we see of Saber Alter is when Saber goes into deep darkness and we see Saber Alter right there. And I was like, Saber Alter. Oh, just that looked so good. Oh, so good. Saber Alter. Can't wait to see your normal get-up, because it's gonna be so fucking awesome seeing Saber Alter in the fights. Oh, I can't wait for that scene. But then obviously because of that, Shiro is no longer master. But he was able to lucky enough get away from Zoken. How? Because the one who ends up coming to save Shiro's life, you all might be shocked about who it is. Ryder. Ryder, who is not dead, mind you. Ryder was not dead. I never said Ryder was dead. I said she got wiped out, got defeated, but I didn't say she was dead. She's alive. And she came back to defend Shiro. And there is a reason why she defended Shiro. There is a reason. And I can't tell you yet until the next movie. I definitely can tell you that's when they're going to tell us why Ryder is still alive. And I've got to tell you that scene, how much they made Ryder look more stronger than she used to be in the main Fate Stay Night animes. She looks fucking good. Fucking Archer. Fucking Ryder. Fucking yeah. Fucking badass girl. My girl, she's fucking badass as fuck during that point. And then afterwards she leaves and Shiro was able to escape freely after that. And then after that point, we go see Tosaka in the model house, and she finally finds the training ground. The training ground. And she finds out this training ground is full of Crest ones. And if you guys have seen Fate Zero, she knows what this is. This is the room that Sakura was in this training ground. And she felt so disgusted how the Mottos were doing this. This is not a training ground, she says. Just seeing that. Oh god. So fucking awesome. So fucking gruesome. And just seeing the face she makes. It makes so much sense. She's pissed. Then afterwards, Shiro comes in after... comes back home with Sakura waiting outside of his house, injured, and pretty much says, "I'm home, Sakura," and the movie just ends like that. Just ends like that. I'm glad how the movie ended, because that was a fucking good ending. A good way to end the anime. And guys, this movie, the animation, the adaptation was so fucking good. Definitely one of the best adaptations so far of the Fate series. Even outbeat Unlimited Blade Works. How? I have no idea how. Just did. Makes sense as a movie. It's going to have the best budget, be the best animation it's going to get. Ufotable has exceeded the animation they did with Unlimited Blade Works. And really, there's nothing else I can say. This movie adaptation was phenomenal. And if you've not watched it yet, just go and watch it yet. Just please go and watch it. It's so fucking good. If you have, tell me your opinion. Tell me your opinion of the movie, because this movie has been a 10 out of 10. Personally, to me, has been a 10 out of 10. This movie has been a 10 out of 10 for me. And they've done things I was expected to not be done because of the content being very mature. Too mature even for an anime adaptation. But they kept it. Which I feel like... thank you for keeping it. And yeah, that's all I got to say. And guys, that was my anime movie review to Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Fields, Movie 1. Movie 1. Hope you guys like it. Chat fans today. If you guys want to send female, go on my description down below. My address there, and yeah. And also, guys, if you want to help me on Patreon, my Patreon's down there as well. And also, guys, if you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Animino, these are searches you must do. On Facebook and Animino, just search Colin Travis, the same name as the channel. You can find me through there. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it's at ColinTravis1998. Hey guys, hope guys like it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys, and hopefully I can review Tokyo Ghoul. Just mention that there. Hope I can review that. But anyway, hope you guys like it. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys! Wow.